Everybody's giving Sam Presti credit, and he does deserve credit for flipping awful players into Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. But at the end of the day, what else was he supposed to do? Sam Presti was in a dire situation where he was about to lose Russell Westbrook if Russell Westbrook doesn't sign that contract extension for $205 million. He already lost Ibaka. He already lost Durant. He couldn't afford to lose Westbrook in that small market. What else was he supposed to do? He had to go for a home run. He had to go for drastic measures. If you guys understand what happened here, the Indiana Pacers basically unloaded Paul George just because he came to them and he said, "Look, I'm not going to be here next year. I'm just giving you a heads up. I would likely go to the Lakers." They traded him to OKC Thunder for basically nothing. They could have traded Paul George to get Kevin Love and another piece, an important piece. So that being said, Indiana Pacers made a big blunder. Then the Knicks trade Carmelo Anthony for Enes Kanter, Doug McDermott, and the Knicks are in rebuilding mode. The Knicks could have easily traded Carmelo Anthony for 4 starters, point blank period. So they were in a desperate situation. All 3 of these teams were in dire straits. OKC was in dire straits because if they lose Westbrook to LA, nobody's ever going to play for that team. That whole expansion is going to die, and it's going to be a wrap for them. It's going to be over for them. So they lost Durant, they lost Ibaka, they lost James Harden. If they lost Westbrook, that was it. So Sam Presti had to show a commitment that he was all in for Russell Westbrook. Hey, I'm going to get whatever you need. I'm going to trade for whatever you need. Now, mind you, when KD was there, they didn't do that. They didn't make those 2 guys a priority. They made their funds a priority. They made their cap a priority. But getting those 2 guys help over and over again. Each year you see free agency, big free agency signings. They didn't make him. They didn't make him at all. So now Sam Presti's in a situation where, look, man, I can't mess this up. The New York Knicks, they messed up with Phil. They messed up with Melo. They were in a situation we got to rebuild. Melo doesn't want to play here. They're in a desperate situation. Indiana Pacers, they're in a desperate situation. So it wasn't necessarily like Sam Presti was quote-unquote genius or it was such a remarkable move. These teams were susceptible to some of these moves because most people, if they think Melo, they're going to get a starting 5. That's what happened when he got traded from Denver to the Knicks. They got a starting 5 in Denver. That being said, same thing for Paul George. You should be able to get a starting 5 for Paul George, not Victor Oladipo and another guy. Like that was ridiculous. Now, Sam Presti took the gamble. Russell Westbrook did sign the extension. But for Russell, I don't think people think, okay, he just automatically thinks he's going to win a title. Some people, money's more important. Like, to hell with a bunch of titles. If I have a whole bunch of money and I can take care of my family the rest of their life, I'm going to do that. Like, who would turn down $205 million? Like, who in your right mind? Even if you're playing for a sucky, bummy team, who would not take the money and run? So he did what he had to do. He took the money, get what he had to do what he got to do. Like, that's most important. When CP3 didn't take that whole $200 million extension, I was like, that was a boneheaded decision. Because even if you don't never win a title, that money right there, that's life-changing money. $20 million is life-changing money. $200 million is 10 times that. So I'm thinking Russell looked at it from a standpoint of like, look, I'm good here. We win a title, fine. We don't win a title, fine. I'm still getting paid. Everybody's making out to seem like Russ is this championship caliber guy where he wants to get a title so bad. If he wanted to get a title so badly, he would have been left. Because OKC hasn't produced. They haven't been to the finals since 2011. That's 6 years. 6 years. Part of that is the players' fault. Most of that is the organization's fault. You can't let go of Ibaka, Harden, like the way that they did. That was awful. That was point blank period awful. So everybody's like bigging up Sam Presti. This extension shows that teams want to play players want to play in small markets. So players want to team up. That's what they want to do. And if you haven't noticed, Russell Westbrook has benefited from the teaming up because Carmelo Anthony waived his no-trade clause to go to OKC. So there wouldn't be no new big 3 in OKC if Melo doesn't waive his trade clause because Melo wants to play with other talent. And for some reason, Sam Presti was able to get Melo to get rid of the no-trade clause, which kudos to him. But you still might lose Paul George. Let's just say they play the season and everything goes pretty well or it goes awful. Worst case scenario, it goes awful. George leaves because it's a 1-year rental. Let's just say it goes pretty good. You get bounced out of the first round, the second round, or you make it to the Western Conference Finals. Maybe you make it to Western Conference Finals. But let's just say you make it to the second round, you get bounced. Paul George still leaves. So that just leaves you and Melo there. So this might backfire in Sam Presti's face, where in a couple years from now, we might be talking about Russell Westbrook wants to trade out of OKC. This is Vlad from Hoops Junction. Hoops meets Hoopla. Peace.